those books you had as a child that
Oh, yeah, you can flip round.
and some...
I love those books.
Yeah.
We've got a box where you can do that with bears.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's amazing what bears wear.
Yeah.
What bears wear. That's what it should have been called.
What bears wear.
Should have been called What Bears Wear. It wasn't. I don't know what it was called. Good morning. Welcome to... What day is it, Jane?
It's Tuesday.
Textile Tuesday. Is it not Thursday already?
No.
Like it feels like it should be.
It's been a long week already.
It really has.
You've done so much. You've
It really
been
has.
busy.
But that's what we like. Keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah, allegedly.
Good morning to you. We've got... What have we got to say? We're doing this. What are we doing? Who
A
are
little
we?
quilt, a little wall hanging. You could make it bigger, but you'd need more fabric, obviously, more kits. But
Get 2 kits.
get 2 kits.
Now this came about because I know you love the allegedly blenders
I
from
do.
Tilda, but
Excuse me, I'm going to
we
swipe
say blenders, possibly in like a Austin Powers type style.
mine. Yes.
Yeah, but they're not. They are beautiful
on their own.
in their own right.
Yes.
So what we've got for you is, you said to me, can we do a home quilt?
It's sort of like, with it being called Sanctuary,
Yes.
sort of, you know, your home's your sanctuary. We did the sewing because that's
Yes.
our mindfulness and keeps us sane.
Yes.
And then our home is our other sanctuary, isn't it, where we can just be ourselves.
I was laughing this morning because I found one of the signages that we've got that said sewing because is wrong.
Yes.
So, yes,
Yeah, that's about right.
that's right. So this will then sit really beautifully with the other kits that you've had. And also just really, really beautiful fabrics. Are we going to have any fabric left over?
You probably have enough to make a couple more blocks if you're careful with your cutting.
I hear cushions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. We are limited on the number that we can make because we're coming to the end. Oh, that was really hot.
Oh dear.
It's stuck about there.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
That's
quite
not
hot.
nice. Yeah.
We've only got, I think, 9 of these, haven't we?
Yes,
and
I
then
think
that was
so,
it.
Yeah.
But
It's been a very popular collection, hasn't
Hasn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not hanging around.
No,
No.
no.
In and out.
We've got a little bit left after this. To give you a heads up, Izzy is making some more scrap bags
Yes.
from what we've got left over when we're just down to little squiddly bits because they were so popular. So we will have a few more Tilda scrap bags later on. She's doing that as we speak.
Yeah.
But also, we're heading into autumn, Jane.
Yeah, definitely.
Apparently we have summer. We've had summer. Did you
Blink, I missed it. Yeah.
Which means it's time for pumpkins. I love a seasonal gourd.
Yeah.
Don't
It
you?
does decorate your home. Yeah.
And this is Tilda's version. With your kit, you will get enough to make the big one and another, or multiples of the smaller ones.
Yes.
It's up to you. But you're getting 9 different fabrics in there, and we're just putting together the kit for the apple,
Oh, lovely.
which means you'll be able to make all the apples in all the world.
Yes.
Might be a slight exaggeration, but certainly more than one.
More than one.
So this is a £9.99 kit.
Lovely.
The apples is an £8.99 kit.
Fabulous.
And again, they're just really, really beautiful, which means you don't have to buy the whole kit. You've got everything that you need there, apart from stuffing. And we've got some brand new stuffing in,
Lovely.
which is eco stuffing. It's made out of
super.
recycled bottles.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
It's really good. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy. So, if you would like the Tilda kit with the
It's Mira.
I've been calling it,
We've both been calling it Hera.
and then singing Mariah Carey's Hero because it sounds a bit like Hera. So now it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
Also in stock today, whoops, our favourites, Perfect
By
5.
popular demand, yes.
They flew out the door.
They did.
This is such a handy one. When I am doing little squares for bags, you know, to do boxing the bottoms of bags and things like that
ideal.
all the time. This is my little ruler I would not be without. It is the perfect find. It is designed by It's So Emma, whoever she is. But again, you have got, it is a perfect 5-inch.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Does all the, and it goes right down to the 8th and all the markings and things.
It's got all of it in.
Yeah.
And again, you've got half inches, you've got 1/4 inches, you've got your 45-degree line. It is so helpful. 2.5-inch squares.
Yeah.
Just the most useful ruler to have. If I pop it on here, you can actually see all the, well, you can see some of them.
Some of the markings.
Yeah, you can see some of them. But it just, and you can see that inbuilt non-slip grip, which
We love.
we do love. Giving it a bit, there, ooh, there. Can you see?
Yeah.
It's this bit, these little roundy bits, and all around the edges so that your fabric is held. If I pop this, Jane, I'm just going to open this up. I know it look really beautiful, soz.
Okay.
If I put that on there, can you see the whites of my knuckles? That is not moving anywhere.
No, it doesn't go. It's
Whereas
really great.
Another one,
Yeah.
and you'd
This
be,
slide.
this is why you want, it's safe. That is not going anywhere. This is why we love creative grids, and we've got the Stripology ruler back in stock. Do you know what? I put up a post about that yesterday. I have never had so many ringing endorsements for a product as we get whenever we mention Stripology, the Stripology ruler.
Yeah, it
It
is.
has been out of stock for the last couple of months. It is back in stock now. You know, the really big one.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
use it,
here.
you'll see it. We've got it. There you go. It's just at the back there. But it cuts in 1/2-inch increments.
There we go. Upside down.
Just for those of you that haven't seen it. But I know that as soon as I say it, everyone's going to be like, yes, 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 we love it, we love it, we love it. 45-degree line, 60-degree line. I need to do a video on how to use this. My members asked and I still haven't done it yet. Every 2.5 inches, you've got a square along the bottom here, so you don't even have to do maths or counting if you're cutting
Visually,
your strips. Every 1.5 inch, you've got a star. So you can square off your blocks. You've got all of that. And if you are doing 1/4 squares or 1/2 square triangles, you can square those blocks off on that side. It is the most incredible ruler. We heart it very much. If
We
you're,
do.
it's a Christmas present for a lot of people.
It is, and it's one of those, once you've got it, you'll wonder how you ever managed without it, because it does so much, and it makes life so easy, quicker.
When you and Gemma first started with me, I gave you both a Stripology ruler.
Yeah, I nearly
And you
fell
both
over.
thought that I was being really generous. And I went, no, I've just given you time. I have just bought myself time.
Yeah.
That's what I've just done. I wasn't being generous at all. Gemma says that Creative Grids XL came in back in stock yesterday and already 1/3 of the stock has gone.
Wow, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, if you haven't got one yet and you're struggling with what your best beloved can buy you for Christmas, that might be on the top of your list.
Time.
Yeah.
Tell them that's what they're
I'm buying
buying.
you.
Because we could all use a little bit more time to do the things we want to do, Jane.
Yes.
What would you do with time?
Make more quilts.
Make more! Make more!
Make more quilts.
That's
Finish
simply what I
off a
would
load
do.
of things that I've started.
Would you though?
No, probably start something new. Stroke my
You see
fabric
all
thing.
this
Oh,
down here, Jane? That's all things
Yeah.
that I'm going to finish someday soon.
someday soon.
Right.
We've all got boxes full of it, haven't we?
We really have.
Part makes and things I started because I loved it, and now I'm a bit fed up of doing that, so I'll
Come
I'm a
back
bit
to it
like a
later.
magpie. Oh, look, that's interesting. The thing with me is, and because I'm like a designer creating all the time, I'll start something and then I'll think, oh, well, if you did that and then you turn that way, that would become this. Oh, I've got to try that now. That goes across there.
It's had its moment.
And then that bit
gone.
starts.
Should we say good morning to everybody before we start?
Yeah, let's do that.
Before we start, I feel like we've already started. We're already there, but let's just say good morning. See who we have got on board this morning. We have got Sarah. We've got Whiz is watching. Morning, Whiz.
Just keeping an eye on us.
Yeah. Anne's here. Jimmy's here. Good afternoon, Jimmy. Pat's here. Brenda's here. Bit miserable weather in Nottinghamshire this morning, she says. Joy's here. Blodwin's here.
Well,
Apparently
he's
it's
brought in
also-
the kit for the apples.
Miserable in Devon. We'll have a look at that in just a minute.
Yeah.
And this is brilliant. thought the big stripology ruler was a bit of a gimmick till I got one. It's brilliant!
I must admit, because I'm like, I'm happy with my, 6.5 by 24-inch ruler. And I was like, well, why would you need a stripology? You can just do it with your long ruler. And then I got one. And I was like, oh, that's why.
That's why. That's why. When we do our retreat, because Jane's going to come on the retreat too,
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Is Glyn going to come as well?
I might persuade him. Depends what his shifts
Glenn,
are.
not Glyn. That's my friend Glyn. I
I
always
know.
get the two confused.
He's used to it because he's got a friend called Glyn. So
It's
that
just
causes,
so close,
yeah,
isn't
it
it?
just
Glyn and
causes all
Glenn.
sorts of
I have
confusion.
to stop and think which one he is,
Yeah,
and I still get it wrong. Is Glenn coming?
he probably will.
Good.
Depends on dates and his shift pattern, but
Oh. Did you not manage to get your new cutting mat, Natasha? Last in the queue again.
yeah, Cinderella had to stay behind. We're going to clean it, aren't we? We're going to give it a scrub, make it look a little bit healthier.
Got to wait for the next shipment to come in. It
Yeah.
hasn't even left America yet.
No.
It's just, you know what happened?
You get a bit of spray adhesive on it, don't you? And in a bit of starch. And
No, do you know what actually happened to it? Well, these are, I mean, I've had this for so long, you've got the odd little cut mark in there, but Reuben happened.
Did you get on?
Well, you see, because I put it in the boot when I'm
Yes.
going, and I hadn't unpacked everything out the boot, and he was so desperate to come on the school run, he just jumped in the back of my boot, and I can't get the muddy paw prints off it now. So Reuben is what happened, and it seems a little excessive to have to buy a whole new mat just because Reuben happened. Morning, Jane. Morning, Rebecca. But it will happen. Lisa's here as well. Claire's here. Sarah says, have I finally got you live? Yes, you have. We are live. I mean,
Yeah.
as close as live as you can
We'll
get.
admit to breathing.
Julia's here, Claire's here. Sorry, I'm late. Facebook didn't remind me. Facebook won't remind you anymore because it's rude. Denise is here. Sue's here. I only have one request for a stripology. I would like them to make it larger.
Yes.
So that I can go across a bolt on one fold. Sue, I put that request in about a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm already on that.
We keep saying to Rachel, please can you make a bigger one?
Janet's here, Tracy's here, Jane's here, Sophie's here, Gail's here. Good morning. Right, Jane, let's have a look at, because you did so rightly say, WizWiz has brought in the apple. These are just nice things to have out all the time. You can either have, I have a bowl, like a copper bowl full of these sorts of things.
yeah.
Although I notice it's slightly depleted because of the puppy.
Yes. She thinks everything's to play with.
It's all hers.
Yes.
I just got out of the toddler stage with Emily of everything being hers.
Yes.
And now we've got a puppy again where everything is hers. This will be loaded in a moment or two. This is the winter apples.
I just think you could make these, again, if you've got sewing friends, you could make them an apple. They could use it as a pincushion.
That's exactly the thing, isn't it?
That's a lovely little secret Santa. Nice quick make.
For under a tenner.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, you'd make more than one, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
With
Oh,
what
the apple is already up, says Gemma.
She's on fire, that woman, this morning. That looks so pretty in the image above. I mean, it's lovely anyway, but that looks lovely.
As that.
Yeah.
Cynthia says, greetings.
Greetings, Cynthia.
She's so glam.
She
Cynthia's
is
so
so.
glam. 5 o'clock in the morning and she
gonna
just
say
looks...
she's like immaculate.
Jane, what do I look like at 5 o'clock in the morning?
I'm not telling. You're beautiful. That's all I'm saying. You're beautiful.
You're such a liar.
You look like a working mom. That's what you look like. Who's got out of bed, got all her children up, given them breakfast, and now is organising her business.
I look like a less appealing Wurzel Gummidge.
Oh, that's not true.
And then I put my makeup on and I become Aunt Sally.
Oh, you are so mean to yourself.
Oh, Sarah's here. Morning, Natasha, Jane. Cynthia's here. It's So Emma. Oh, this is So Emma. Cynthia says it's a brand from Fat Quarter shop owner Kimberly Jolly. It's her daughter's name.
Oh,
right.
nice. I have seen So Emma patterns and things, so yes.
Lion-Teen1, aka Sue, says, love the stripology. And Alice says, morning ladies, having my carpets cleaned. So I have to stay in the kitchen and watch you, can't do anything else. It's a tough life, isn't it?
That's awful, yeah, terrible.
Jane, I'm going to let you crack on. I might have to just print something off very, very quickly.
Be fine.
I'm just going to be over there pressing
It'll be all right. It'll be all right on the ride.
Pressing buttons. That's me, Jane.
We've got a lovely kit, which will make the little hanging behind me. It's about 30 inches by 30 inches. You've got 1/2 metre of the beautiful, it's mostly here, I'm going to say here and now, and it's not, it's Mira, the Mira blender. You've got 1/2 metre of the cream. You've got a long 1/4, it's our plain, crimson, and that will do your binding for the quilt. And then we've got fat quarters. There's a fat 1/4 of the Macawa linen texture cream. I think it's cream, it might be linen, but it's a beautiful textured, it's a print, but it looks like linen. It's a lovely fabric. And then we've got a fat 1/4 of the rest of the blenders of the Mira. So we've got lavender, caramel, pink, moss, slate. I don't know why they call this slate. I suppose it is grey, but it's more of a purpley grey, and it's got this lovely minty green
It's
flower
the
on.
Macawa linen texture is Q linen.
Yeah, cute. I
There
think it's called linen. Then there's blue, ochre, sage, and rhubarb. Rhubarb. So I used on my quilt, I've used the Mira for the background of the house block, and I'm going to go over making the house block today. The 5-patch block that goes in between is a very straightforward block. We've all made 5 patches, I think, before. It's just a case of cutting your strips, joining your strips together, and then subcutting them up into strips and joining those strips together. So 5 patches are very easy to do. All the instructions will be available once we've finished doing our last minute checks. Because I was a little bit poorly again at the weekend, not everything got finalised before the show, so we're just a bit behind. But we'll get there. You will have in your instructions, you will have a cutting chart and you will have your template. The templates are for the roof. Trace your templates off. You can trace them off with template plastic. Use a nice sharp pencil. Keep on the line as much as possible. Cut on the line as much as possible to keep them as accurately as you can. Mark what they are. I have got lots of templates at home that have got letters on them. But I don't actually know for what block they're for.
Oh, Janio, what you need, just have a little look on that back shelf behind you,
one
Jane.
of those beautiful folders. Look at these, aren't they gorgeous? This is what Natasha made yesterday.
No, we're making it tomorrow.
Oh, you're making it tomorrow?
Yeah, we did the laptop sleeve
yesterday.
So we're getting ready for Christmas gifts for anyone that's at uni, that goes out to work, that leaves the house in any way, shape or form, or just has stash that needs to be put in a project book. Because let's face it, Jane, our drawers are full of
bits of pieces.
Yeah.
Half-made things, and then you go back to it and you're like,
All
what was
of
I
that.
making here?
Yeah.
I love this. I love these corners. They make them look so professional, don't they?
Oh, they're
Well,
amazing.
as being like functionally protective, but they do make them look.
I'm due some more designs in, which I'm very excited about, and also some that don't screw in, that's like crimp on.
Oh right.
So you won't have to have quite so many layers, because that was all part of the design, was how many layers did I have to make that sit nicely on there.
That's beautiful.
Suzanne sent us a lovely message. She says, morning, lovely ladies. Damp and drizzly here in Somerset. Your show brings me sunshine and joy.
Oh,
that's us, Jane. We're
lovely.
little rays of sunshine.
Little rays of sunshine.
That's what I heard.
Joy. I don't think that's what people call me. You've got your cutting chart. There's a diagram here that shows you the block. It's 2 fabrics. I chose the darker of the hearers for my house blocks, and then I use the lighter ones for the chain in the 5-patch block. You can mix and match it. You might want to have all of your houses the same colour. I think that you would be able to get all of your fabrics, 5 fabrics out of one block, of one fat quarter. I'd have to look at the maths on that, but I think you could. When you come to trace your templates onto your fabric, because of the orientation of the house, trace them onto the front of the fabric. I've marked the seam allowance on here, which is the solid line on your template. That will give me then, I will be able to sort of do a little bit of fussy cutting, placing my template exactly where I want it to go. If you were to do it on the reverse, your house would just face the other way, that's all. All the rest of the pieces would work. You just swap them around. So the thing with templates is you need to be fairly accurate with them, because obviously the more you leave a gap around the edge, the more you've got extra fabric which won't necessarily make your block all fit together. So my biggest tip for you, your template plastic comes with a sort of slightly rough edge and a smooth side. Put all my information, I write it on the rough side, but actually you want the rough side against your fabric because it's a bit like the creative grids. It's not as anti-slip as creative grids, but it just gives you a bit of grip on your fabric so that your template doesn't move as much. When you're using your marker, whichever fabric marker you use, angle your marker in towards your template, and this will just give you accuracy, because obviously if you put your pencil like straight down, you've got the width of the lead or the nib of the pen away from the edge of the template, which is another sort of like, it's only a few threads, but if you're making lots of things with templates, those few threads can add quite a bit of size to your project, and you may then wonder why it's not all fitting together as well as it could do. And then when you come to cut it out, try and cut on the line rather than outside the line, if that makes sense. So when you're cutting, cut right on that line, and again that's going to reduce any additional fabric in your shape. It all sounds very complicated, and it's not, and you don't have to trace around your templates and make plastic templates if you don't want to. You can cut your template out and use it like a paper pattern. Just pin it to your fabric and very carefully cut round it. Obviously it will only have an infinite, lifespan, but it would work enough to do this particular pattern. And if you thought, well, I'm never going to make another house block again, so it doesn't matter, that's fine. Don't make life too difficult for yourself if you don't have to.
Jane, why? Come on.
Let's do the roof section. In the instructions, I tell you how to put it together like in rows. The first 2 rows are quite straightforward, and I'll go back to that in a minute. You're going to have a rectangle of your fabric, and you're going to need 2 of these rectangles for the block, for each block. Now you're going to cut them across the diagonal on that rectangle, one from the bottom left to the top right and one from the bottom right to the top left, so they're facing in towards each other. And these 2 bottom triangles won't be needed, so they're like in your scrap bag. And you've got D and then DR, and they go on the ends here and here. And then you'll have a piece, and you can see I've just put a little label on all of mine, because once I've done my cutting chart, just remembering, because there's some sizes that are very similar, Now you'll look at this strip and you'll think, well, that's too big, Jane, why have you done it that size? And we'll explain that in a moment. It'll all become as clear as mud. So the first thing to do is to add your triangles on. Now you've got marks on your template, and they are 1/4 inch marks, and they've just cut the points off, but it does help you when you're lining up your triangles. So you're going to put this, what is the right side, left side, sorry, of your roof triangle against your on your triangle there. So it's just a case of lining it up. Now you're offsetting the triangle by 1/4 inch. There'll be a 1/4 inch below and a 1/4 inch above. So you'll see that little bit poking out there and a bit underneath. Using your 1/4 inch seam throughout this, and obviously because there's quite a lot of pieces, it's important to keep it a consistent seam allowance. So if you've got your magnetic guide or your 1/4 inch foot, perfect. And I would recommend that you press each part as you go along. It'll just give you a nicer finish. Take care when doing this that you don't stretch it, because that's a biased edge. 2 biased edges together. I'll take that sticker off now. And you've got 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch here. And you're going to do the same on the opposite side with your opposite triangle. Just lining them up, making sure they're offset slightly. And just seaming down now. It comes together really quite quickly, this block. It's lovely. It's a lovely one to make, and it's got sort of a real folksy feel to it.
It's a good traditional one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's one that's been around for a long time, and mixed in with the 5-patch block just gives a really lovely country
technically, Jane, is that an Irish chain in the background?
Yeah, I suppose because you're using that 5-patch, it creates that Irish chain effect.
It's amazing, isn't it, how you get these secondary things. So you've got the houses, which in themselves really then echo that chain, don't they?
Yeah,
but
they
just
do.
on a larger scale. I love how you get those secondary patterns.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love most about patchwork is the fact that it creates a...
Were you a child that used to do those magic eye things and squint at the posters and see if you could see?
do them.
No, I couldn't do them either.
No, I could never see it. Everybody would go, oh yeah, it's this, and I'd be like, I can't see anything.
I'd be stood outside Athena. Do you remember the
Yeah,
stationery
everybody
shop?
would be standing there like this.
Yeah. No, I'd give myself a headache trying, and I just couldn't see it.
Never see anything.
No.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It must be the way our minds work.
Just used to
And we
annoy
won't
me.
say any more about that.
But it's funny though, isn't it? Because now here we are looking at and finding different patterns and different things
I
in the
used to
background.
have, as a child, I had a box, and it had wooden shapes in it, and it had I can't think of the word, like a cork board, but it wasn't cork, it was a bit more solid than that. It was sort of like wood chip, but compressed, with hammer and nails. And you could make different shapes, and you could hammer it into this wood, and then it would pull out. And
Sounds amazing.
It's like a composite, I suppose. It sort of went back together for. I mean, eventually it just fell apart because I used it a lot. But you could make all sorts of shapes, because there were like squares and triangles and patchwork blocks, basically. I think from a very early age. So we're going to put this strip G on now. And as I said before, you're going to look at it and you're going to think, she's gone wrong with the measurements here. It's way too big. We're going to line up that top edge. It's going to go on like this at an angle. We're going to flip it so it's right sides together, and that top corner is going to sit against that top seam behind what was the triangle. So you know you're in the right place. We've offsetted it by 1/4 inch basically, but that little seam gives you the X marks the spot type place. 1/4 inch all the way down. Now I would sew all the way down right to the end of the strip, even though you're not sewing anything together. This just helps you when you're then pressing it back to make sure that you've got it pressed back as far as it will go, because you can then press it back on that stitch line and your fabric sort of behaves itself better that way, because sometimes if you don't stitch it, it'll twist itself and you won't be sure whether you've got an accurate space. So now we're going to trim that so that it
with your little five,
with
your
the little
perfect
perfect
Jane.
5. Now you want to make sure that it's fairly square there and comes across, and you want 1/4 inch of your fabric here, a gap between the point of the roof and the edge of the cream fabric. You want 1/4 inch. So you can just trim that off square, because sometimes when you're pressing it, it just stretches a little bit, and then you can trim that triangle off there. And then you'll turn it around, and this side straight forward. You're just lining that up with the edge of the bottom of your template there. And you're just going to trim that off, like so. And you can see that there's not much then that you've wasted from that big long strip that looked like it didn't fit. And that was why. And then we just join those two together. And again, what you've got here is you've got a straight edge on this top edge that will sit against that edge there, and then you've got your 1/4 inch overhang. And then we give that a press as well. And I would press towards the roof part, just because it seems to like to lie that way.
Does it matter? You're not...
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I wouldn't stress about it. Just take care again, because it's a biased edge and you want it nice and flat. You don't want to stretch it. And that is your roof part. And that really is the bit that's not complicated, but has a little bit more to it. The rest is literally strips and rectangles that you just sew together.
Amazing.
So your roof, your chimneys rather, is 2 small squares of your background rectangles, 2 small squares and a longer rectangle. And when you come to place that on there, what will happen is that chimney sits on top of this gap here, and this chimney should come to the end of the block. It should all fit. It might not. Don't stress about it, because if it doesn't come exactly, it's only going to be a few threads out, and nobody, once it's in the quilt and all put together and quilted, nobody's going to notice.
Jane, why do we put so much stress on ourselves for this?
I think we just feel like we need to have everything perfect all the time. And I don't know where that comes from.
Is it because everything else isn't?
I don't know. I think that we stress a lot about making sure our seams match and everything meets up and all of that. And I don't know why we do it to ourselves. Because when
Takes the enjoyment out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does a bit, because you get a little bit anxious about it. I think really you just need to enjoy the process and trust it, because hopefully my measurements all work out and it fits together like so.
I have a little announcement for everybody. Well, I've got 2 announcements actually.
Mm-hmm.
The So Easy template plastic is back in stock.
Yes, we've got
because you're going to need it for this.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as the last time when Gemma didn't realise that they came in packs of 5.
Yeah.
Like, oh, 5 times the amount, brilliant. And she was mortified, but it made me laugh. And also, we have got 10 500-gram Tilda scrap bags.
Woo!
Now, they're a mix of older stuff and newer stuff.
Yeah.
We've only got 10.
Amazing.
If you've had our Tilda scrap bags before, you know that they are big chunks of fabric.
I was going to say they're hardly scraps.
No,
really.
they're not. They're just
bobbins run out.
Oh, Jane, do you want me to come and sort it?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. You can tell everybody about our scrap bags. Whilst I do
They're
such thing.
huge. They're fabulous.
They're huge.
Fabulous value. They're not huge, but they're fabulous value for money.
500 grams. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in there.
I can feel the bobbin. It's just that when I come back to threading it, I'm never really
Because
sure I've
it's
done
not
it.
like your machine. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Never really quite sure to thread it correctly. Which is crazy because it's the same threading system as my long arm, which I can thread perfectly fine.
Standing on your head. Yeah, so these scrap bags, we've got 10. That's it. That is it. They're a mixture of what we've got left over. So any of the bolts where we've only got a squiggly bit left of this new collection.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of new stuff in there.
And past collections.
And like there's bits of offcuts from my demos and your
There might even
demos.
be a bit of patchwork dog in there,
Yeah.
in one of them.
I think there might be a piece with my mistake with one of my house blocks when I was first making it and I made it too small.
Did you need an extension? Jane renovated and happy days. But we always do try and make our scrap bags the best that we can.
Yeah.
Which is why people come back to them time and time and time again.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't know what you're going to get.
I bought a scrap bag from another company once just because I liked their fabrics, but I wanted to see what the quality of the fabric was like. And it was only a 100-gram scrap bag, and I ordered 2. And they were really not very usable scraps, to be honest.
That's not okay.
I was quite disappointed.
If they're tiddly tiny pieces, we let people know.
Yeah.
Because I know like Alistair does tiny scrap bags
Well, you can do, I
with
mean-
Liberty for, people that do, Jane, I'm throwing it around the place. For people that do tiny applique.
Yes.
But he lets them know.
Yeah, that they're small pieces.
Yeah.
And you can make confetti quilts with the tiniest pieces of fabric. And there are people who do art quilts that would love little bits of fabric for little bits of this and that. So there's
Horses
not
for
a
courses,
piece of
isn't it,
fabric
Jane?
that you can't use, but we like to be generous with that.
Well, yeah, and so I mean, when we've done cork and PU scrap bags that are smaller pieces for tabs and things like that, we make it clear it's the smaller bits.
Yes.
Because you've got to know what you're buying, haven't you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And whilst there's an
unfair.
element of lucky dip, especially when it's designer, the next one that we're going to do a designer scrap bag of, Jane?
What's that?
William Morris.
Oh, wow.
I might try and sort those today. Whilst
That'd
I've
be
got the
good.
girls in. Why is that? Janio. Why is that not? Stuck up there.
That was why. They got stuck on the edge of the reel. They do that as they get low, don't they? They
They
come.
start to, don't they? And it's annoying. There we go.
That's it.
Yeah, so the next ones will be William Morris scrap bags. But come and see, if you're at the NEC, come and have a look, because we'll do our normal scrap bags with what we've got knocking around the studio types.
Yeah.
There we go.
Lovely. Thank you so much for doing that.
I'll just check, Jane. Just hang on.
Scrap.
Bear with me.
Perfect.
Beautiful,
Perfect.
beautiful.
Lovely.
As we were.
So I'm just putting the top sashing strip on now. The blocks are finished at 10 inch. So nice cushion size. Maybe want to add an extra border around it. Make it a little bit bigger for a cushion. You could put a few together and make them into table centres. Quite nice. Table centre. The thing with the Hero fabric is it is directional, so you just have to think about your cutting when you're cutting
Okay.
it, the direction of the fabric. It might not bother you. Some people it doesn't bother. It bothered me a little bit because I'm a bit OCD.
A little bit what, Jane?
So I don't like to, well, yes, I suppose I am a little bit. I worry that sometimes OCD is sort of branded around as a bit of a laugh, when actually it can be quite serious for some people.
So you OCD over OCD?
Yeah, I
Is
do.
that what you're trying to tell me?
Trying not to upset people that are really suffering with OCD.
Amazing, amazing.
Crazy.
I think it's who was I having this conversation with? We do have labels for everything now,
Yes.
and everything, because spectrums are such a breadth. Everybody's
we were
on
talking
it.
this, weren't we? It was just like, my son's autistic and Josh's brother's autistic, and the difference between them is quite wide.
Of course it is, yeah.
And we were just saying, weren't we, that it is such a spectrum, and everybody, even within autism, has different traits and different quirks that make them individual.
I used to teach on in an autistic unit, and yeah, again, every child was so different. I had one that was obsessed with white goods, and just wanted to know every detail about my tumble dryer.
Yeah.
And another one that when they got into an absolute rage, the only way you could calm them down was to oink like Peppa Pig in their ear. And it just used to fascinate me.
It is fascinating. It's the human mind, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah. It was totally fascinating. And like I said, but then everybody's different. And I think now that everyone's got a label, that's great. It helps you understand how you work.
Yes.
So that you can cope better in the world.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, look, I used heat erasable pen on that one.
Oh.
That's the door unit. So it's
Nice.
2 of your print and 1 of your background, and then another piece across the top, and that will sit across there.
Gemma says, Jane said hearer again. What do you two like? It's mirror.
It's mirror. I'm sorry, Gemma, because of course once you've said it,
It's like Glyn and Glen.
yeah.
That's
And the more you
what I'm going to say.
the more you think, oh, I must say, you say the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, of course. There's another thing that I do that with all the time. I can't remember what it is. It'll come to me.
We've got 3 pieces of our pattern and 2 pieces.
Oh, nice. Look at
And
that.
this is makes the window. So again, just sew them into pairs, sew the pairs together and add that one on, or add that one on, and whatever works for you. I wouldn't sew them one onto the next, because sometimes that can make it slope down just a little bit. I think it's always better to sew into pairs and then into 4s and so on.
Slopey house.
Yeah.
A bit like this house. Nothing's in a straight line.
Nothing.
See, my mum and dad, whenever they would put up pictures, it would take them half a day to put up a picture anyway, because they'd half an inch. Just try half an inch. Gilly, no, just move it. Just hold it there. And this would go on all day and it would literally be over half an inch. And was it centered right? And this, that, and the other. My dad tried to put some pictures up when I first moved, and we just gave up. And we just looked at the wall and went, whatever looks right, we're not even getting the tape measure out, because nothing's straight.
Nothing's straight. The
How would
walls
we
are not
know?
level. It's just, this is what happens. But, you know, these
quite like
houses
it.
have been stood for hundreds of years. And it's amazing, isn't it?
The
And
oldest
they've
part
managed.
of the building is 1600s, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly even earlier. And
It's fascinating, and it's still standing, and it's still functioning
about.
as a home, and it's just... So we've got those together in a row. We're going to give those a quick press. Oh, I didn't
yeah,
actually
Jane.
ask you for steam.
get the old
Thank you.
steam out. You can. Ruben's on his bed because he's had a nice walk this morning.
Oh, bless him. And then we've got a piece that goes, same size pieces, and they go above and below.
Oh, nice.
And again, I think I haven't cut those the right size because that's supposed to fit on top of there. But we'll fudge it for now. Your cutting instructions are correct.
Jane's not been feeling very well this morning, so we're just very grateful to get what we're given, Jane.
Yeah,
Get what we're given and
we'll
like
manage with it. We'll manage, we'll cope. We'll make it fit. Again, just take a moment to think about your direction of the fabric. And this is your window unit then, you see. You've got your windows, and then we join that together with a strip of the background fabric. In my pattern, I've just labelled them A and B. A is the background and B is the print fabric. That way you can use pretty much any fabrics you like. I was thinking about it on the way here this morning, while I'm waiting for the traffic to move on. It drives me mad in the morning. So many roadworks everywhere. It would look rather nice with a black background and maybe Cape as your print.
Oh, yeah. Although that wasn't what you said to me this morning. You said we could do it...
Rainbow batik-y, I was thinking. But then I was like, Cape might look quite
But we don't have any rainbow batik-y. But no, in Cape would also be stunning.
It would give it a completely different feel. You won't need to do this with yours because yours will fit exactly. That is the smallest, scantest seam in the whole world ever.
Oh, Janio. It's all good.
It'll be fine.
Oh.
And then we're going to sew our door unit to the other side of that strip. And that unit then sits underneath there.
Well, it would do when I change the camera.
If I'd cut my piece correctly. So you can join that on. Like so, and again, it should all line up. And you don't have to be too worried about the strip matching up in the middle. You can do a lot of pinning. And we give that a press. And I would press towards the roof part. It seems to like to lie flatter there. Again, my seam's out a little bit here, but that's because my doors and my windows weren't quite the right size because I hadn't measured them correctly. And then you put your bottom sashing on, and that is literally the block for the house. And that really comes together quite quickly. And that's really cute.
It's really cute, isn't it? And that, just as a block on its own for a cushion, it's really rather lovely.
You could add a border of another colour around it if you wanted to, or a bit more of the cream around it. Bind it in the same colour as your house. That would look really quite nice as a cushion.
Jane, half of those scrap bags have already gone.
That doesn't surprise me. They're a real deal, and the people that have had them before will think.
I think they already know what a deal they're getting. So if you've got them in your baskets, please check out. Just because, we might be able to make a couple of the smaller scrap bags, but no more of the 500 gram.
No.
That will be that, unless I can. Have I got any more anyway? I don't know. I think we're at capacity on the 500s.
Yeah.
We can definitely make a few of the smaller ones, but after that, it's gone.
It's gone. Once
it's all gone.
It's gone.
And then that will be pretty much it on the tilde front until there's not very much left, is there at all?
Lovely. When will the next collection come?
Some of you have made the most. You see, what I would do, Jane, is I'd get the deal where I got the toy instructions and the 1/2 metre of toy fabric, because Tilda's toy fabric is very special.
Yes. It's a closer weave, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it stuffs really firmly. It's really nice.
Yeah. And then I'd get a scrap bag so I could make all the different clothes and things that went for them out of all the scraps.
Yeah,
that's what I'd
nice
do.
idea.
That's what I'd do. A quarter of our Perfect 5 stock have also gone this morning. So if you want one of that, there we go. It's all good. It's all good. So,
now you can see the quilt behind me. I mean, it's not quilted. Just run out of time.
it's lovely though.
But it's a very simple, traditional quilt pattern. But it's just, there's something so cosy and homely about it. It's lovely. You could make that for somebody who's got their first home.
Yes.
As a housewarming gift.
Or in that middle block, you could, welcome or bless this mess, or welcome to our home, or you could applique.
You could do a border, couldn't you, around it and put home sweet home. I've called it home is where the heart is, but
nice.
you could do all sorts of things with it.
Yes. Jane, thank you ever so much.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow we're going to make a project pouch for all of your projects. It's going to be able to fit your A4 things in.
It's beautiful. It is a lovely, lovely pouch.
I just think that by the time you've got the set, because I'll do a luggage tag as well.
Yeah.
Or an ID tag. So it's not just for luggage. There it is.
You could put anything, that could be on your workshop bag, couldn't it?
Well, that's just
Natasha's
it.
sewing stuff.
But you see, when I used to go to Create and Craft, I used to have an ID badge and then a pass to get through all the doors.
Yeah.
So the pass would go in the back. If you flip it over, then there's the pass bit for the back for anyone, or your Oyster card.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lovely. It's a lovely idea.
And if you've got your sewable plastic,
it's lovely with this gold sparkle cork as well. It just highlights the gold in the fabric behind, doesn't it?
do you know what? I am absolutely thrilled with that fabric that we had.
Yeah.
Just so gorgeous.
So versatile.
Because we'd only made cushions and things with it before. But if you get the thing that we made yesterday on the left hand side, that one. But I love a good planet.
I love this because you've got this pockets here as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's so good.
But
Just
then you
the right
open it up and
size.
you've got a bit of planet.
Yeah, poking through.
It makes me think I'm on the edge of the moon.
Nice.
A very happy 60th birthday to Karen.
Oh yes, happy birthday, Karen.
Yeah.
Lovely day.
Not
She's
sure
got
she's
to take her
watching.
husband to the airport. So
I thought you
that's
were
a
going to
really
say
nice
to the vet.
gift. A really nice gift. Take your husband to the airport.
Well, I mean, maybe it means
Maybe
peace
he'll
and
treat her
quiet.
to some duty free.
Oh, well, yeah. But Karen, happy 60th to you today.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
And here's to many more, as they
Yes,
say.
absolutely.
Yeah.
60 is young.
Lovely.
Perfect. Jane, thank you very much. So tomorrow we're going to make that project pouch. We've got lots to do tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah, and we're going to bring out that sewable plastic. Hasn't been out in a while.
It's so versatile.
Yes, my one top tip for sewing with our sewable plastic, get your quilter's wash away tape on it.
Yeah.
Because then you know where, it's more so that you can see it.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
It's not that
like,
it's
where's the edge of the
slippery
fabric?
per se, but if you've got
like,
quilter's
where's the
wash
edge?
away tape on
Yeah.
the edge of it, then you can actually see it.
Yeah.
Because it is indeed
Clear.
see-through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Jane, I'm going to make you a cup of coffee.
Thank you.
And yes, then we are going to finish off bagging up scrap bags. And we're midway doing our Advents, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are mid-Advent,
Yes.
so that we can get those out early. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. That's the idea. So we're going to go, lovely people. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we will see you 10 o'clock here tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. Thank you, Jane.
Bye-bye.